Drummers against implied timekeeping. This is a drum set builder video. I wanted to do a video for drummers because most drummers have an individualized way of building their drum set. And if you are swapping out your drum set or just buying in individual component parts, I want to kind of give you my insights on how to most effectively improve your drum set for the cheapest amount of money possible, because it is expensive. Now, as a disclaimer, this is my opinion and my opinion only, so bear with me, all right? Now, the most important thing on a drum set to upgrade isn't even a drum, it's your pedals. Now, I have here a Yamaha Flying Dragon, which is a direct drive. It's their top-of-the-line pedal. I only show it to you because whether you're getting single or double pedal, and I want you to get a double pedal, preferably, especially if you're serious about studying the drums, because it has to have a base plate. That's the critical thing. If you don't have a pedal with a base plate, I want you to get one. The difference is enormous in quality and in speed. So that is the most important thing. Double pedal, I use an Iron Cobra Power Glide double pedal. And it also, of course, like most great double pedal makers, has the bass. Just make sure it does have that bass plate. The second most important thing on your drum set to upgrade is your bass drum. I have a video which is a comparable study going over the bass drum sizes and their pluses and minuses. And I am of the thinking if you have one bass drum, it should be a 24-inch round bass drum. No tom mounts. 16 inches or greater, deeper. So 16-inch or 18-inch deep, 24 round bass drum. Now I happen to have a 20, but that's 2 inches more than is necessary. And I understand if to move this bass drum around is a difficult logistical problem for you. You should also have a secondary bass drum, depending on the gig you're doing. But to play most of your gigs and for your overall sound, 24-inch bass drum is essential, with no tom mount if possible. The next order of importance is your snare drum. I don't care what the material it is, 13 inches round or 14 inches round, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 inches deep. They're all good. Just make sure they sound good, and it'll just match your bass drum very well. That's your sound, your bass pedals, your bass drum, and your snare drum. The next order of importance is your hi-hat stand. It should be a hi-hat stand that accommodates a double pedal, whether you have the double pedal or not, because it's about the same weight, and I, of course, eventually want you to get the double pedal. It is absolutely important, so get a hi-hat stand that accommodates a double pedal. They're all good. Pearl, Tama, DW, Trick, Premier, they're all excellent, just as long as it accommodates the double pedal, as I say. The hi-hat cymbals should be 14, 15, or 16 inches round. No less than that. 13 and 12-inch hi-hats are secondary hi-hats and are not as versatile, so I highly recommend 14, 15, or 16. The next order of importance, surprisingly, is the remote hi-hat. The remote hi-hat came out about, I think, 18 years ago in the early 90s. And it was basically a secondary or a supplemental piece of hardware on a drum set. But I am of the thinking, if anyone who's been on my channel, that the remote hi-hat is more important than actually cymbals. And I want every drummer looking in to swap out and do everything you can to get a remote hi-hat over lots of cymbals. This particular one is a Drumcraft, which is German designed and Chinese built. It has a cord, or the rod mechanism is just fantastic and strong, and it's a good value, and I want you to look into that. The other is the Pearl, which is a good remote hi-hat, but the cable itself is not that strong. The DW is a fantastic remote hi-hat if you can afford it, and so is the Trick, which are just the best, the flagship of remote hi-hats, and they're excellent. But I highly recommend them over getting multiple amounts of cymbals. The next order of importance is your floor tom. 14-inch floor tom, preferably over a 16, because the variance in tuning is greater on a 14. Besides, it's smaller. So 14-inch floor tom is essential if you can. If you have the 16, keep the 16, but try to get a 14 as well. The next order of importance is your cymbal. I have a video discussing cymbal quality and what to buy. I'm a big advocate of crash cymbals over ride cymbals, and I go into that a little bit. Get a good quality cymbal or cymbals that you can work with on various styles of music. Single brace stands over double because of the weight factor. I have never, no matter how heavy the music I've been playing, needed double brace stands. But a high quality single brace stand is more than enough in my opinion. And then finally is your drum seat. It is so overlooked and is so important. Make sure you get a quality drum seat, which is made by Pork Pie or DW or Pearl. They're all excellent. Make sure it is of good quality because the way you position yourself sitting at the drums. And so that's the order of things on swapping out what to get, in my opinion. All right? Ironically, as I'm doing this video and we're talking drums, the least important thing on a drum set are the toms, the hanging toms, the 10, 12, 13, and 14, because you get very little out of them and for the amount of money you put into it. Now, I'm not talking about someone who buys an entire drum set. This video is for people that are looking to swap out and improve what they have. The order of importance to improve. And so again, as I say, the toms are not, you don't get much out of a tom for the amount of money and for what you're doing. So just keep this in mind, the order of things. If you have questions, feel free to ask me on twitter.com/drummersagainst, facebook.com/drummersagainst implied timekeeping. And those drummers who are going through my catalog, I invite you to just kind of look through what I'm teaching and understand where I'm coming from. And of course, I'd like you to subscribe to my channel. Your subscription is the support that I need to continue, and it allows me to come up with these things that I think are helpful for especially younger drummers, rather than spending a lot of money unnecessarily, of how you could improve what you have by building components and swapping things out. All right, so thanks for looking in, and those of you who have stayed with me, your support is always appreciated. And let me know what you think about this drum set builder. Take care, my best.